There has been a lot of interesting character changes in Evolve Stage 2, and Bucket is definitely one of the greater ones. He now has a mechanized recharge, and in turn has made him an absolute beast. Bucket before had a UAV that basically would track the monster for a temporary amount of time, and wasn't a very good use for him. I also had mixed feelings about the UAV.
You say how you Maggie?
I said that is how to play Maggie.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I fucking love Maggie.
I'm sure it would have been 10 times worth with the Maestro and Pete.
Oh, Bucket's UAV, descend, you piece of shit! Fucking hell! So in replacement of that, the mechanized recharge basically releases a burst of energy that hunters have to be in within a certain radius, of course, and that burst basically recharges hunters' class abilities extremely fast. Definitely one of the bigger character changes and makes Bucket an absolute beast.
Dome ready.
Jack's repulsor has also been changed, so now if you use it when it's red, it won't drain large amounts of energy. It also uses a lot less energy if the monster walks into it, but if the monster traverses into it, then it will lose a large chunk. The recharge speed is also a lot faster and just in general feels really, really good. The next specific change is in fact to Daisy. Daisy now gives a 15% speed boost to anyone within a 15-meter radius of her. This does not apply to the combat trap jaw that Wasteland Maggie has simply because Daisy already has a flamethrower with that. The AI for Daisy has also been improved, so now she won't follow tracks and will actually go straight to the monster's location. When the monster's close by, she'll start sniffing the ground and then will point when she's homed in on the monster's location, indicating that you can dome the monster. A very big improvement to Daisy and definitely very player friendly for anyone new to the game. Next up, Slim's Spore Gun has been nerfed heavily simply because the Spore Gun was an extremely toxic thing so that monsters couldn't smell hunters. Well, now that's actually not how it works and it just simply limits the monster's smell range. The way I see it, they probably will end up actually replacing Slim's Spore Cloud altogether one day, but for now, that is what he has. Finally, a couple of subtle changes to Hyde's toxic grenades. He can no longer be sneak pounced if a toxic grenade is down, but they will no longer destroy Kraken's Banshee mines because it really was just completely taking away that ability for Kraken. Now moving on to the specific changes for monsters. Beginning with Goliath, he used to have a distinct advantage with his tracks, whereas he jumped, it wouldn't leave any tracks behind him. Well, that's of course unfair because all other monsters leave tracks, so now if Goliath jumps, it will leave a nice breadcrumb trail of his tracks. They have also made it so that if he charges off a ledge, he will continue to charge off the ledge, whereas before he would actually float to the ground like a dainty butterfly, but honestly, it does look funny sometimes, but actually is really good and plays out so much better. Next up, Wraith has had a change to her decoy. This was teased a long time ago, but Wraith's decoy will now actually not make her go invisible, and you can basically fight with your decoy, and it is so powerful and so much fun. I know some people like the invisibility with the decoy, but who knows, they might bring it back with the Wraith's variation. Even so, I way prefer Wraith in this way, and it actually makes Wraith a lot more viable. Kraken has also had a change to his Banshee mines. Instead of being vulnerable and instantly locking onto hunters as soon as they're shot out, they go through 3 stages. First of all, when you launch the Banshee mine and it's in that launch state, it will be invincible. Once it's actually set in a position, it will be armed and then vulnerable again, and then of course when a target comes near the Banshee mine, it will lock on and then explode when the target's near enough. Definitely a lot more of an enjoyable experience against Kraken because Banshee mines were always an absolute bitch. As for Gorgon, her web snare will no longer slow a hunter's movement, but it will slightly nerf your jump height, also the jetpack speed, and the amount you can actually dodge. That's pretty much it for the specific changes to monsters and hunters. Of course, the patch notes will be in the description if you want to look them over. The final thing I want to mention is what's happening to Behemoth. Behemoth is currently going under work and truly isn't ready for the game. Don't get me wrong though, the new Behemoth is an absolute beast, but he does still need work and he wasn't as polished off as the other monsters when I played him. If you already own Behemoth, you will have access to him in this build. Just know that he's still going under work and needs to be brought up to a certain standard, but if you're a brand new player, you unfortunately won't have access to Behemoth and he'll be locked temporarily, but I'm sure he will return to the game very soon. Obviously, there has been changes to monsters and hunters that affects all of them, but those were the very specific changes that have come to the game. Make sure you check out all the other videos I've made that explain all the other changes that have come to the game. But otherwise than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
ready.